Pokemon Pocket's 1 year anniversary is coming up soon, and earlier tonight, the Pokemon Pocket dev team dropped an update talking about new features that are going to be coming to the game with regards to trading and card acquisition. The first one is really great for players like myself that have lots of cards and friends that we would like to give them to. You're going to be able to give 1 through 4 diamond cards to your friends for free, one each day. It always felt exceptionally silly to me to be sitting there with my 5-year-old or my 10-year-old and being like, give me one of the EXs that you don't need, even though I don't need it, so I could send them a card they actually wanted to collect or play with. So that'll be a welcome change from that dynamic that I've experienced in the past. The biggest updated detailed here today is the second one, though. They're going to be expanding the range of tradable cards. More specifically, you're going to be able to trade cards from the most recent booster packs, which is a massive update. This will remove some of that really feels bad variance from the economy. So long as you can find someone out there who's opened the card that you need, you can exchange for it, meaning you'll be able to kind of balance out players who open too many of one and not enough of the other without having to wait for the pack to be a month old. This one is especially surprising to me personally because it feels like one that's going to cut down on some of their revenue, but perhaps their revenue has fallen off enough from bleeding players with their high variance economy that they feel like doing this will bring more people back in since it's going to smooth out a lot of variance. For whales like myself, or people who are really lucky and have opened lots of copies of things, they're also going to be expanding trading from just 1 to 4 diamonds and 1 stars to include 2-star cards and shiny 1 and shiny 2-star cards as well. So crown rares, the immersive cards, as well as promo cards, look like they're still going to be trade locked, but being able to trade 2 stars and shiny 2 stars is a especially big deal for people that are looking to complete their Pokedexes for these various booster packs. I know I've been sitting on 5 copies of 2-star Sabritas from the very first expansion, waiting for the day that this was inevitably added. So get your trade fodder ready, gamers. I'm ready to turn her into some more useful cosmetics for my collection. Finally, and this is another fantastic one, improvements are going to be coming to the Wonder Pick feature. Cards from the latest expansion that you have not obtained yet will appear more often inside of your Wonder Picks. It's always incredibly frustrating scrolling your Wonder Picks and seeing tons of older set packs or duplicates or whatnot. In fact, on my live stream, we often referred to them as blunder picks for how often they're just completely useless. You know, you have a card you finally want come up and then you hit the 80% to miss it. It just feels bad. Being able to have that feature show me cards I want more frequently so I can actually spend my Wonder Pick hourglasses there and be picking towards things that I want is another really welcome change. Past the new features, they close out here by thanking folks that participated in their August player survey. They indicate that some of these changes are being spurred by feedback that they collected there, and that doesn't surprise me. I think all of these changes are super player friendly, and there's really nothing negative to say about them. I think the only thing I would note as a small miss is the lack of trading on promo cards. It means that there's still these mechanically unique promos in the game that are completely inaccessible to newer players or players who missed getting them from their event, that I really hope they figure out a way, whether trading or something else, to reintroduce those cards at least mechanically to the game, even if not specifically with the promo icon, just making it so you can get the cards that have those text boxes so players could play decks and have them in their collection with them as they move forward. They also note that we have the Mega Evolution pack coming at the end of October. That already teased a few cards from that, so that's not a surprise for anyone. The one big question mark in my mind is that going to be a 2 booster pack set release like we've seen for a lot of the sets, or are they going to go back to 3 booster packs like we saw for A1, giving us a big set to kick off year 2 for Pokemon Pocket? One other thing that I think is worth musing on slash talking about here is not just what's in this announcement, but explicitly what's not in this announcement, and i.e. there's no hint or indication that we have any non-trading, non-collecting features coming to Pokemon Pocket in the short term. And I hope that that's not going to be the case, as someone who's enjoyed Pokemon Pocket only from the collecting aspect, but also from the gameplay. I feel like the fact that we're now a year in and we're still missing some not only stuff to do, but also really big key features. Why can I still not easily import and export deck lists with other players being able to click a couple buttons and quickly share 20 cards for my, one of my kids or a viewer or someone else to easily import into their client and play with is a really basic digital card game feature that essentially every other app I've ever encountered has, that Pokemon Pocket still doesn't have a year later. I also think the lack of ways to play the game has really been a detriment to people that want to play. We actually, I think we arguably have less ways to play Pokemon Pocket today than we did when the application released, while ranked being added overall, I think was good for the game. I was wrong about that. I think the fact that we lost two more casual ways to play Pokemon Pocket when they added ranked is a really big miss. An anecdote is my wife is games with me. We play a ton of games together, and she'd been playing Pokemon Pocket for a while, and she played in and got the emblems in every single one of the X amount of wins and win streak events, and she was enjoying those. And then when ranked hit, she played a little bit of it, but she wasn't playing enough to grind up it, and it was discouraging. And rather than spending more time on the app, because that's what ranked letters are, they're a giant time sink, it was just too much, and she stopped playing the game altogether. And then eventually she stopped collecting because she wasn't playing anymore. I really think they need to either consider bringing back those events in addition to rank, or having some other more casually focused way to engage with playing the game. It feels like they kind of threw out something they had that was functional and reasonable in exchange for this rank system that appeals to a kind of different type of player. And I think there's room for both of those to exist in Pocket, especially considering we have this really awkward overlap at the end of each season where like the previous ranked season closes and then we have to wait for the new one to open. It's like in that span there, and maybe some other time throughout the course of the season, having those other events returns feels like it could be really good. Some of you probably noted it's been a while since I posted a video here on this channel. I definitely subscribe to the idea that there's a ton of great games out there. I'm going to play games more when I'm having fun with them, and I'm going to take a step back when I'm not. And I'm honestly just kind of Suicune Greninja out while I'm opening booster packs. I've opened 2 Crown Rare candies, and I've probably spewed enough that I'll be able to craft my Full Art Professor Oaks before the pack leaves with pack points. I really have experienced everything that I feel like there is to experience from a gameplay perspective in Pocket, so I'm focusing on other things like Marvel Snap and Once Upon a Galaxy and others that have more regular content. I'm planning to dip back in with the Mega Pack, I think, at the end of October, especially with these trading updates being a positive change for the game overall. But like I mentioned in the past, I think one of the upsides of Pocket's economy is that I can keep up opening my packs every single day without actually engaging with the gameplay. So when they have a kind of this content desert, for lack of a better term, where there's no new gameplay stuff, I can kind of piece out from the gameplay aspect and not really feel much worse for it. I would love to hear in the comments down below what your thoughts are on these trading changes. I think they're pretty much all upside. Obviously, some of the numbers we'll need to see. I expect that's going to take you a lot of dust or whatever the resource is called to trade these higher rarity cards, but still net gain for the game. I think, like I mentioned, the only miss is the lack of promo stuff. I appreciate everybody that made a way through the end of this ramble. I'm going to link the source of this from the official Pokemon Pocket people in the video description down below if you want to read it yourself firsthand. Stay safe out there, folks, and hopefully we'll see you back for some Mega Pokemon at the end of the month.